What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Channel Musi Gaming here, and today I want to talk to you about the past 4 opening fights that we had here in 2939 in our latest Heroic Anthem Renewal KVK. Now, as you can see, we were actually able to win this zone almost completely. Now, we're just still burning some Alliance forces here and there, but then again, overall, we have complete control over the zone. Eventually, we'll go ahead and seal this pass right here. And it looks like our allies are also doing well. As far as what I was told, I think our allies who are the Earth Camp over here is pushing in towards their lands and are actually winning quite a bit. So on both fronts, I think we're looking pretty good in terms of how we're doing for this entire war. Again, both of the Zone 5s are won from our side, so that is a big win for us. That means that the enemies will probably have to share those bastions in their neighboring Zone 5 at the end of the day. So big shout out to our camp members at Storm Camp here in 2939's Heroic Anthem KVK. That is 2648, I believe, our campmate, as well as the Earth campmates that we are actually allied with. But let me just briefly go over how the fight went. So when we did first start the fight, we were swarming this pass right here. The enemies were swarming this pass right here. We actually were pretty late on the pass swarming itself. And as you can see from my live stream from yesterday, you can see that we were actually pushed in more towards our side versus more towards this holy site right here. So we didn't have control over the holy site when we actually first started, right? But then again, when we were actually in this area, we had a lot of people who random TP'd and then stopped the builders from getting to the Alliance forces. That allowed us to complete the Alliance forces a lot faster. On top of that, we did some crazy fort drops with our farm alliances where we were able to block their advances in terms of their flags towards our alliance forces, which delayed their alliance flags to build towards our holy site over here much quickly, so that we were able to rally away all those forts that were around us. Again, when we go back to the live stream, there were like 3 forts in that area. Yeah, there was 3 forts. I was able to destroy 2 of them, I think. And then we basically secured this holy site. And then we were able to push it in with some fort drops here and there. But then again, at the end of the day, I think we were able to basically push them all the way. This morning, we were having some problems trying to push into their territory as we were in our downtime. But we were able to burn the flags, the most important flags at the end of the day. And we were able to secure the victory. For this zone, at least. So with that said, I will go over everything that I did run in terms of the rallies, because I was a rally lead for our kingdom here in 2939. I believe I was the strongest rally that we had for this camp, as well as this fight, in terms of what equipments that I had, as well as all the armors that I had. So yeah, I was pretty busy for the last 24 hours. I was basically called in every other hour to every other second to basically rally this and that. So yeah, but let's just go ahead and start from what I have. So I have Attilla Subutai running with basically arch formation, everything special inscription except for the scroll, which I don't like destructive over here, because it is just a really bad inscription. So I have Iron Wall, which is going to give me 1.5% less normal damage taken, which is really good against, again, infantry, garrisons, and whatnot. This one right here, even nil, because I don't have special inscription on the instrument slots anywhere. So I wasn't able to get a special inscription for this one, and hence I'm using a rare inscription, which just has really stacked stats. This one, even nils, is not too bad, too far off from special inscription, to be honest with you. It does give you a little bit more damage mitigation than damage buff. So that's what I'm running. Overall, crazy stats, but then again, no all damage is kind of my pain point here. When I do make the Delta formation for my future cavalry rally combo, I'm most likely gonna move on with as much all damage as possible. You can see that if I get the special inscription from the Autarch later on down this after this KVK, I'm most likely gonna inscribe it on this one, which has 2% all damage, which is the max roll for all damage. So yeah, for my Delta formation in the future, I'll most likely change that. But again, for now, this is what I have. And equipment, all special inscription, all legendary, and all talented, all iconic 5, except for the hat. And probably I'm missing what about 1% all damage from the max damage that you can possibly bring from this equipment. So that is nice. I haven't seen that many people who has better things on this KVK. I don't think there is anyone. As a matter of fact, for cavalry rally, that does have better stuff than I do. So yeah, I was basically rallying the entire 24 hours at the end of the day. So let's just go over some of the reports. So let's see. I basically favorited everything that I did as far as what I remember. And as far as what I can do for the rallies, I could have missed a lot of them, but then again, as soon as I remember, oh yeah, I should save this for the video later. This is what I did. So this is very first couple Alliance Fort rallies that I ran. You can see that I did run 3 million rally cap rally, which is good. And they were just builders, so they didn't really have like they had all cavalry T5s. Good. So we were able to just we had a lot more troops. So I think a lot of people actually pulled out of their troops, figuring out that we were just neighboring them to rally them as we connected the flags towards their alliance force. So yeah, we were able to rally them pretty well. Overall, I think the enemy did have all talented, but then again, I think they were missing some iconics, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the damage to troops on the map were missing a lot, and then you can see that they didn't max attack all the way where they get the damage reduction from this. So yeah, all in all, pretty good report here. And then the next couple ones, we were able to do really well in general against Gorgo Hera, and anything basically other than Gorgo Tokugawa at the end of the day. So you can see that Gorgo Hera we did extremely well. This one's me swarming with my Bai Che because the flag was like getting the reinforcements and it was low. So I was like, hey, like, why not? But then again, it got too much reinforcements that out of blue. So yeah, this was kind of nuts that I killed so many of my troops trying to swarm it. And a couple other ones. So again, another Gorgo Hera, which we did really well against. But Gorgo Tokugawa gave us some hard time. You can see that we were losing in deaths on this rally right here. They were swarming a lot, but then again, we were losing in deaths. That's the most important thing that I'm looking for. They did have a couple people who were swarming without fixing their hospitals, So I did have, at the end of the day, more deaths report, but then again, it is what it is. Let's see. This one again, Gorgo Hera performed well better than what they did over there. And then Attilla against Gorgo Tokugawa. You can see that trade ratio for the deaths is just tremendously in favor of Tokugawa and Gorgo. All in all, I do get more seb wounds and whatnot because I was swarmed a lot more. But then again, we were getting better trades on overall report. But then again, we were getting a lot more deaths because of how powerful Tokugawa Gorgo Tokugawa is. Fortunately, there's going to be Shapuru that's going to be coming up. So anything that is infantry or at least like Gorgo Tokugawa, we'll be able to basically destroy them with Shapur, with Asher Benapol most likely. So yeah, Anyways, another Gorgo Tokugawa. Again, we are overall trading positive with the kill points, but then again, we got destroyed in terms of dead trade ratio. And you can see that we are not doing so hot against them. And especially when they're reinforcing this a lot more than we do because they're just right next to the garrisons themselves. So that is kind of unfortunate. But then again, this is what I got. From our standpoint, it does look like we're trading positive, but then again, it is not what I'll prefer to see personally. And those are another Gorgo Tokugawa. Again, it's just we trade very negatively in terms of in terms of that, but then again, because they were swarming so much, they get so much set wounds happening. You can see that it actually I counted this. There were 65 marches that were hitting my rally, and it was crazy. But they didn't really mind taking the set wounds, which is fine, right? And then they took a lot less deaths than we did, which is unfortunate. But then again, we were using a lot of farm fillers, so it wasn't too big of a loss from our end too. This one, Gorgo Hercules, again, a lot better trace because it's Gorgo Hercules, so we did a lot better. 18 million trace kill points versus 4 million, which is nice. This is actually a Choyam Hercules, which was the last one that I have saved up for before I went to sleep for the 7 hours. You can see that there's a difference between the 7 hours between here and there. And yeah, this went pretty well. We were reinforced much better than they did, so we destroyed them. And then I went to sleep because I thought we were gonna win. And as soon as I woke up, I was like, "Yo, like, can you rally?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then we went into rallying in an area where it was kind of narrow. I forgot where it was, but it was on the top side, I believe. Yeah, it was in a weird area. Maybe it was somewhere around here. I don't really recall 100% where it was. But it was in like a weird area where we didn't have that much area for us to put our troops in, whereas their troops were actually able to have a lot more cities around the pass. And that's when we were suffering a little bit for for the beginning of this day and today's morning, right? I woke up and I was like, "Hey, like, can you rally this?" And then they were reinforcing a lot better than we did. You can see that at the end of the rally, when I canceled, we had 154,000 troops versus their 870,000 troops. So we were ahead in kill points, but then again, we were swarming that too, but we just didn't have enough people to reinforce because there's no space for us to actually bring in as many people as possible for that area. So we were losing those trades. And then I was actually told to keep running the rally. So I kept running the rally. Again, I had to cancel at 700,000 because they had 1.8. Their garrison was just like full all the time, whereas we had like 2 reinforcements and then we stopped. And then we rallied the Gorgo Hercules, where we suffer from the same thing, right? I ended up having 780,000 troops remaining, whereas they had 1.8, 1.9 almost. And I was actually told to keep going, so I was like, okay, well, we'll keep running those as much as we can because we were running them with farms. As far as what I know, yeah, those are all farms. Those are all farm T4s. So that's why the trades are in favor of us, despite the fact that we were like 1.6 times in favor of us, despite the fact that we were just getting a lot more this, just because the quality of troops that we are sending with these rallies were just worse. We were sending them with T4s basically, and we just basically kept running those T4s to basically drain their deads at the end of the day. Because again, like if you look at the trays here, like these are all T4s, and those are from the farms, whereas they had a lot of their troops from like the T5s and then the non-farm areas too. You see that their names are most likely the main accounts, and they have a lot more debts incurring, and we kept draining them at the end of the day. I was told to actually keep running them until they die. My rally died instead of stopping them because it was actually my it takes longer for them for the farms units to actually return to the city if I just stop the rally at the end of the day, and then you still get those set wounds anyway. So it's just overcomplicated things. So I was told to just go ahead and keep running those. And this one in particular did better because they had a couple of swarmers, but then again, in terms of des, we had a lot more. And we kept running those again and again with all those farms. Yeah, you can see that they were swarming it even before you get there. And once they got there, again, we got just farm T4 cavalries versus their gold their T5 units. So yeah, so that's what we were doing. And then we started trying to build a flag right next to it. This is actually my city rally garrison. You can see that I am very low on troops because I was swarming a lot. Someone actually rallied my city, so I actually defended it with Illinois Hera. But then again, later down that, yeah, this is my city getting rallied, and then they had to cancel because they saw that they were losing a lot of troops. But later down the road, I had the Illinois Hera garrison later too. I don't know if I have it saved up, but then again, we were trying to build a flag next to it so that we can actually have more reinforcements. But yeah, that we'll see if I saved it later. And then we kept running those again. We were getting swarmed. We got the kill points, and we were able to get a lot more of their deaths of T5 units on their main account versus our accounts with farms, 100%. And we kept running those. And at a certain point, I think they just kept sticking to reinforcing their troops. Again, it's 380,000 versus 521,000. We got more reinforcement, but then again, it didn't matter. We got reinforced though too late. And those are all T4s, I think. Some of them actually came in with their T5 marches to reinforce, but then again, most of them were T4s. And then this is actually one of the worst reports that I had for today, whereas it actually went down to 100% exactly. And then we kept running those. Again, our purpose was to drain them as much as possible, and we had one negative report. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, we had one negative report apparently. And then we started garrisoning because we wanted to build a flag. But at that point, we had so few people that were online. But we were able to kill some. You can see that we did trade much better. And then the next one, we got rallied with Attilla Subutai with a lot more fielders. And one thing about Illinois Hera Garrison is that you cannot really outperform when you don't have the field. And that's what happened. This guy was running Attilla Subutai rally. I think I had better equipment. Yeah, I'm missing 27% attack, but in terms of health, I'm ahead by 34% and then 7% defense. Not to mention that Illinois Hera does give you more health, to be fair. Then a little more all damage. And yeah, the damage to rallied and garrison rally armies. This is when you can tell, like, oh, he doesn't have that much iconics on his stuff. So, but we still lost because it was swarmed as Illinois Hera Garrison just because. And then this guy was getting reinforced a lot more. So yeah, so this was happening. And then we went back to rallying some other people. So this was the Gorgo Tokugawa's garrison that you saw earlier. Again, we were basically all farms versus their stuff, so we did trade a little bit more positive. No, actually this one I don't think we were farms. We were actually trying to break this. Unfortunately we didn't have. No, we actually did end up defeating it, but then again, I'm sure. Yeah. Gorgo Tokugawa is a little tough for us to beat with the Attilla Subutai. I think this one we had the field control, as you can see from the reinforcements. And then we ran another one. against Choyoung Heraclius, where we did better. I don't know why we stopped, maybe. Oh, okay, we killed it. So yeah, we killed this guy. So we were able to actually run a rally where I think it was by accident. The rally lead was like, okay, we're not gonna win this, and then pulled out their garrison, and then it switched to William Luce, and we just got mega kills after that, 750,000 deaths from that, because it really wants Luce garrison's not gonna work. And then we rallied some city for this 100 million 100 million power kill point power person, and he bubbled at the end of this rally, which was unfortunate. And then the last one, we just destroyed the city, the alliance fortress that they were defending with a couple people. But then again, at the end of the day, you're not gonna Gorgo Hera doesn't really do well, so we were able to destroy it. So that's basically it. I mean, again, I ran a lot of rallies, and I don't know if I capture all of it, but you can see that I did save them. When you save them into the favorites, you don't really have them show up here. You can see that I missed one here, but I think I got most of it. Yeah, I think I got most of the. I missed this one right here too. Got extremely reinforced. It was swarmed, but then again, I was able to kill this Tokugawa rally. I'm gonna go ahead and favorite this actually, and then this one right here too. I like to keep the record. Oh yeah, the reason why I couldn't add that all to favorite was because it had like 2 different reports. Okay, cool. So yeah, so that's how the zone went, and that's how my rallies went. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I'll keep you guys updated on how this KVK goes. I don't think I'm going to live stream today because of the fact that the fight's done, right? And we won the zone, so I don't think there's really much for us to showcase here. We're just burning the flags here, whereas like I think our allies are also kind of winning on the top side. So anyways, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please go ahead and throw a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video. All right, peace.